A 2.5 forecast. Mostly sunny on this Tuesday with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, light south winds. Light winds tonight, mid 60s, mostly clear skies. Some hot weather expected Wednesday and Thursday, low 90s, mostly sunny. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, about 90 to 95. An increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Guatemala says at least 192 people are still missing after Sunday's explosion of the Fuego volcano. The man who lived in the apartment in which the fire started that killed dozens in the Grenfell Tower disaster bears no responsibility, according to his lawyer. Mexico's targeting billions of dollars worth of American goods with tariffs after President Trump's duties on steel and aluminium. And Argentina's cancelled a World Cup warm-up match with Israel after pressure over Israel's treatment of Palestinians.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good morning to you on your Wednesday. It's June 6, 2018. This is Community Conversations. Cato Wonder is in the studio with you. I'm joined by the host of Community Conversations, Ms. Quabila Jones, and we are joined by Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott. It is the first Wednesday of the month, and we always welcome Chief Elliott to the studio. We also have joined Chief Elliott is Detective Nathan Coleman, also of the Jonesboro Police Department. We're going to just talk about some of the latest things that are going on with the department and also take your calls and your questions.
And good morning.
Good morning to you all. All right, so we're going to get right into some topics. Every time you all come, sometimes we talk about some of the bad things we hear about, going on around the nation concerning the police departments. But I do want to highlight a story of one of the officers. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. And I saw the story on KIT, and he was over in the gated apartments on the north side, and a child got out of their home due to a broken lock.
Right.
And the officer, I don't know if he was patrolling the area and just happened to be on the scene, but anyway, he went out of his way to help the mom. And so I just want to give a shout out to the officer, because we do have some good officers here.
Absolutely. And things like this happen all the time. Unfortunately, a child will slip out of the house every now and then, and these officers, subsequently get the call and locate the kid, and, they all have had a happy ending so far, child returned home safely. But it does happen, and, these officers are passionate about what they do. They're here to protect the community day in and day out, and they do a good job at it. And obviously they love what they do, because this job is a calling. And, there's a lot of challenges day in and day out. And these officers face these challenges, day after day, and they keep on going with very little thanks. So, but I am proud of what they've done, especially on this case. This young child, again, it was reunited back with the family, and everything worked out. So,
right. And there was
happy ending.
Another story, another child. This happened earlier, at the end of May. A child in Roseman and Overhill, kind of a similar situation. I'm guessing the child got away from home. Right. And the officers were able to get it back home safely.
Yeah. Generally, once they get over there and start contacting neighbors, and everybody can working together, they can figure out who the child is and who the child belongs to, and get the child reunited back with the family. But like I said, we know it happens every now and then, and we just caution parents to, be sure to lock your doors, and because if you're not paying attention, and kids will wander and do things every now and then, and this is the summer months, and some of the younger children are out of school, and if you don't intend for your child to be out of the house, then take some precautionary methods to help prevent that, and be cautious.
Got a couple of Facebook shout-outs. Mark Pillow says, "Hey, Nate," and he says, "I'm excited by what the Street Crimes Unit is accomplishing." So let's kind of go into that, Chief. What is the latest with the Street Crimes Unit?
Well, street crimes, of course, since we brought them back, they've been very active and trying to slow down the illegal activities that's going on the street. So I think the results have been very positive. We've taken some folks off the street that conducting illegal activities that are plaguing our city. So we're trying to keep the crime rate down in the city, and I think overall you look at the 10-year stats that we talked about before, our rates have been pretty consistent over the past 10 years, in spite of the fact that we've had almost 14,000 people growth in population.
Wow.
So it just takes a proactive group like these young men on the street crimes to get out and to help combat some of the daily problems.
Now, for those listeners and viewers that may not know, just kind of tell a little bit about what exactly is the Street Crimes Unit.
Our Street Crimes Unit, it was a hand-selected unit by me, and basically they hit our target areas in the city, of problematic areas, people selling drugs, any kind of illegal activities. We'll concentrate on those efforts. That is their goal every day. Is it's specific to the mission. They're not out writing tickets and things like that. They're out, working on problems throughout the city.
Kind of the worst of the worst.
It is.
Are they driving regular JPD vehicles or plane vehicles?
Yes.
Okay.
Street crimes, they vary their mission. Sometimes they'll be in plain cars, sometimes they'll be in marked cars, sometimes they'll be in plain clothes, sometimes they'll be in uniform.
You just never know.
So it depends on what they have under investigation and what they're working on and what the mission for the day is.
All right, we got another question from Mark, and it says, "Any new razors on the horizon?" Don't know what a razor is, but we ask the questions and to our guests.
I don't know what a razor is.
Mark, if you're still watching, if you could clarify what a razor is, we'll come back to that.
All right, so I want to bring in Detective Nathan Coleman, and I want to say congratulations to getting this position, because the last time you were here, you're an officer.
Yes, ma'am. Working a night shift.
And he's moved up to detective. So I'm sure that the things you've seen in the crimes and cases you got involved in has really changed.
It has. And one of the things that's interesting is to go from one side of the coin to the other. Because now I'm seeing that, maybe some of the things that I put in reports may not have been really beneficial on this side of it, and there may have been times where I should have, probably, attempted to get more information to make it easier on, the detectives that are going to be investigating the case later. So I can see now, whenever I had someone harping on me that, you need to make sure you have this, and now I can see the why behind it, and it makes a lot more sense.
And because of that, do you often, or within the police department, do you all have meetings, group sessions with officers versus detectives, so you all can collaborate?
Sometimes we have a employee rep committee, and they have different representatives from CID, from every rank in the department, from the SROs to we have someone from first shift, second shift, third shift. Plus, we always have email. So I mean, if we see something, we can always email somebody and just kind of let them know that in this particular case, it'd be helpful to have a little bit more here. And there's a lot of open lines of communication.
I do morning staff meetings back in CID. Talk about things that come in overnight as a group. They get together and start the day out going over reports and assigning reports.
But I've only been back in CID since March. And the atmosphere back there, they have a lot of appreciation for patrol. Patrol is out there, and they are just, there's some days where they are just getting hammered, call to call to call, and they do it every day. They make it look effortless, and so we understand that there are times where something may be missed, or whenever you know, in a split-second decision, a decision has to be made, and so we try not to go back and second-guess them, and try to just pick up the investigation from when we get it and carry it on.
Okay.
Got a couple more Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to David Carnes and Cora Evans Hester, and David says, "Good morning, Chief Elliott and Detective Coleman. Thank you for your service, gentlemen."
Good morning, David, and good morning, Cora.
All right. And I want to ask, and I know we cannot go into details about this particular case, but it's one that had been in the news, and I just kind of want to ask about how the process works. There was the case of the burnt vehicle with the body, and I'm sure it makes your job very hard to try to patch together all of those details and the evidence that has been collected, and the family wants answers. We talked about this before once with Chief, and the family wants answers, but unfortunately there's a process you have to go through. Do you find yourself working late nights just to either interview people or collect evidence, or just go through something else?
My understanding, I haven't personally worked a homicide yet.
Okay.
But my understanding is that once the call comes in on that CID is pretty much going to be, putting in very late nights, doing everything they can. The show, the first 48, I mean, there is some truth to that.
Okay.
I mean, you lose a lot. The longer an investigation draws on, so a lot of people that they really put in a lot of effort, especially right there in the front, to try to get a suspect identified, to locate any various crime scenes, any evidence that needs to be processed. So yeah, there's a lot of long nights.
So I just want to say, be patient with the police department. They are working, do their best. I know some people don't feel like you may be, but again, there's a process to everything that you do. So
part of that process and investigation is gathering information from people that on the scene.
Okay.
And that's our biggest obstacle that we face nowadays is there's witnesses, but witnesses don't want to come forward. And, so it makes it even harder for us to solve the crimes because you may have a half a dozen people that witness something, but they don't want to be labeled as a snitch. And so they just soon, basically, to me, that's condoning that criminal activity, and that person, may go free because of, you didn't step up. And, in a lot of cases, we have a person that may be dead in the case, and that person, they deserve the person that did this be brought to justice, and that family deserves the same thing. They need to see the person that did this to their loved one, brought to justice. So, it's you have a civic duty if you do see something or are involved in something, to step up and do what you're supposed to do. And again, it's the right thing to do, and we won't put the person in jail that's responsible. So, that's our biggest challenge right now is just getting people to speak up.
Okay. And I know my perspective may be limited compared to some others who are really out and about in the community every day, but for the most part, we have a good police department, and I would love to see the community of Jonesboro really come together as a whole to keep it great and continue to build on that. Again, before anybody comes from me, this is just my perspective from what I see. I have seen not a big increase in officer presence in my neighborhood, but I've seen a few patrol, and I've seen an officer I don't know, but I would like to get to know who he is in my neighborhood.
Right.
So,
well, we, city our size, our authorized strength is 161 officers.
Okay.
So, there's probably quite a few that may patrol your neighborhood that you may not know, but it would be a good thing for them to, get to know the people that they, in the areas that they protect and serve day in and day out. And we try to do this through different community events throughout the year.
okay.
So, like we had the block party or trunk or treat,
Okay.
from the Melrose area. That's just kind of a chance to get the neighborhood out to visit with officers and build those bridges. So year round, we're constantly looking for different events that we can participate in with the public to help build those bridges. And we have an event coming up here in just couple weeks
Yes,
that
sir.
you're responsible for putting on.
On June 16th.
GLK June 16th celebration.
Juneteenth celebration.
And of
So
course, Jonesboro Police Darrell will be out there and with the grill. Officer Racy and Chief has so generously agreed to provide the food for them. We thank Chief for that.
that's just another one of those events, that as a police department, we try to stay involved. And like I said, across the country, law enforcement has gotten a bad rap, and some of it is their fault and some of it not. But we want to build positive bridges in our community. I can't solve everybody's problems across the country, but I definitely want to solve the problems in Jonesboro. And we just want a better relationship and what we do day in and day out and build those bridges. And the only way to do that is just one event at a time. You're not going to solve it all at once, but you can take one group at a time, one event at a time, and just get out and meet the public and build that public trust, and it all has a very positive effect. And I think we've seen the effects already in the past few years. And just like participating in this radio show, monthly, we've had a lot of great feedback from it. I have, and I think y'all have too. And it's just another way to reach out to the community.
All right.
And we're certainly glad to have the opportunity to have this platform for you all to reach out to the community, to talk for people to interact, ask their questions, and leave their comments.
All right, so we're going to bring
Detective Coleman.
Detective Coleman in to talk about an upcoming event. And is this one hosted by the FOP?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the Fraternal Order of the Police. And so it's the annual fishing derby.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what year is this?
This will be the 11th year.
11th year. So obviously the community really, really enjoys this event.
I hope so.
Well, I would think they would if it's been going on.
If people keep showing up, then we'll keep putting it on.
There you go.
All right, so tell us all the details about this event.
This particular one is going to be June 16th, so the same day as y'all's event. This will be.
You can go to both, by the way.
You can, absolutely. The times on ours is fishing starts at 7:30, and it'll be from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. It'll be out at Access 6 at Craighead Forest Park.
Okay.
You can start registering kids at 7 o'clock. We've tried to streamline it with the use of carbon copying and things like that, so that. So it's a lot quicker,
Okay.
I know that there may have been some people that have been there, back in like 2013 or so, 2014, that you had to fill out 4 or 5 different forms, and it seemed like it took forever to get from the desk out there to go fishing. It's real quick. We've got different age groups. It's from ages 3 to 15. For children 3 to 15. They don't have to have a license or anything to go out there and fish.
Okay.
It's in the youth pond out there. We are going to have Arkansas Game and Fish. They've contacted us and said that they're going to stock it for us to make sure there's hopefully some big catfish out there.
All right.
And there's different age groups 3 to 7, 8 to 11, and 12 to 15.
Okay.
So once they start going, hopefully they can catch some fish.
Do they get to keep any of their catches?
They do. They can keep their fish, and we're also going to be providing pizza from Upper Crust out there. So we'll feed everybody. We'll have drinks. We do door prizes.
Okay.
We try to see to it that every kid gets a prize.
Okay.
We also are going to have drawings. I believe we've got bicycles this time.
Wow.
Bicycles and TVs. So each age group is going to have a bicycle, and so whenever you come in and you register, you're also going to get a little slip that you write your child's name on it, and then they get to put it in one of the buckets for the bicycles. So, if their age group, if they're right there on the edge between a big bike and a little bike, they can pick which one that they want to be in the drawing for.
Okay.
So,
Right.
but it's one pole per kid.
Do they bring their own?
They bring their own pole,
Okay.
bring their own bait. We just provide the water and the fish and the food and prizes. And
Does anybody ever come with old-fashioned cane pose?
not in the last 2 years that I've been there, but I wouldn't put it past someone to.
Well, Chief nodded his head, yes, so I guess Chief has seen it.
I think in the past I've seen some cane poles out there, but
Can you still even buy a cane pole?
Yeah.
you can.
That would be my rock choice.
I don't know how you'd reel it in though.
I don't.
There's an art to using a cane pole.
We got a couple more Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Anita Ballou and Tanya Ford Geror. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Good morning, Tanya and Anita.
Morning. We actually had place out of Little Rock, I think, came down last year, and we didn't even realize they were coming down. And they came down and took photos and videos and posted it on their website of the fishing derby. And it was more to promote the parks in Arkansas.
Okay.
And so I contacted them and asked them if I could use their video. And so I took it and chopped it up and then took some of the videos that we had, some of the photos of the fish that were caught, and put it on our Facebook page and set some music to it. So you can go on there, and if you want to go on our Facebook page.
Is it on the FOP page?
Yes, ma'am. It's on the Facebook page, and it has music by Taj Mahal. And you know, people can go on there if they want to check it out. And for one, it's a pretty catchy song. It'll be stuck in your head all day. But you can also kind of see, you know, some of the behind the scenes, you know, how the fishing derby goes.
And I can't play it on air because of rights and regulations. So you just have to go to Jonesboro Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 8.
Yes, ma'am.
And go to the videos, and I'll have a detective find it for me when we go on break.
All right.
We're speaking with Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott and Detective Nathan Coleman of the Jonesboro Police Department. Just kind of talking about some of the things going on, and as Detective Coleman mentioned, the fishing derby is Saturday, June 16th, 7 to 9 a.m. And, of course, the KLEK Juneteenth starts at 10 a.m. So you can go catch some fish. I want somebody to come out that goes to the fishing derby, bring some fish to the Juneteenth. Maybe we can get a fish fry out there and have some fish.
Fillet some fish and cook them on the grill.
There you go. You know,
Are people ever trying to clean
and
their
the
fish
Saturday morning
after
tailgate
that?
will actually be going on during that time. So, you know, we don't call it the fish fry, but you know, still the same thing. So,
do people ever try to clean their fish on site?
Not in the past 2 years, but
that's old school right there.
like I said, anything's possible.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. We're going to go to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more. This is KLEK on 2.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Are your compliments often mixed with criticism? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Several years ago, my son came home from his game and asked me, "Were you there for the first quarter of my game, Dad?" I started. I responded, "I didn't get back into town into the game until the second quarter, but you did great." I then added, "But you really need to start eating better." My son was silent. The disappointed look on his face showed me that my criticism had completely crushed the compliment I had given him. What did I learn from this experience? First, I learned that compliments should be strong and specific. Second, I learned that criticism should not be mixed with compliments. For more on why you should not mix compliments with criticism, visit my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a non-profit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by... At Glen Sane, we don't just sell cars and trucks. We build relationships. This is Danny Ford. We have a long list of customers that are also our friends. Always know we're here for you. Glen Sane, God bless our troops.
Teresa Beck, owner of Full Sun Gifts, 606 Southwest Drive in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK. Full Sun Gifts offers a variety of gift ideas such as candles, fragrances, bath and body products, makeup, cosmetics, skincare, and more for birthdays, weddings, holidays, and all occasions. Details at Full Sun Gifts on Facebook and Instagram and 870-974-8480.
The IHS BTW Reunion of Classes is July 13th through 15th, 2018, and features a variety of activities for the entire family, such as a golf tournament, banquet, luau party, semi-formal dance, memorial service, movies, games, skating, and more. The IHS BTW scholarship recipients will also be announced. Ticket and other information for the reunion events is available via Norma Farrell, 870-316-3746, or Jan Strong, 501-762-7860.
The Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was established on June 28, 1997 by 13 dynamic women who accepted the challenge and honor of chartering the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter. Today, the chapter continues to impact the Jonesboro community by sponsoring programs such as the Sonia D. Williams Scholarship Breakfast, Back to School Bash, Disaster Preparedness, Delta Academy, Empower African Girls, and Autism Awareness. Our focus correlates with the national theme, uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. Our chapter supports Delta's 5-point programmatic thrusts: economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. More information about the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is available at www.jonesboroalumnidst.org or via email jonesboroalumni@live.com.
Check out the Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Listen as Dorinda plays the very best in contemporary gospel music and interviews all of your favorite gospel artists. The Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with our guests, Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott and Detective Nathan Coleman, also of the Jonesboro Police Department.
All right, so I want to get into some of the things I was looking at on the Jonesboro Fraternal Order of Police Facebook page. There are a few officers you recognize for Officer of the Month, and then you mentioned there's another you would like to recognize. So let's talk about the ones that you've already recognized.
All right. This last one was Sergeant Brian Shelton.
Okay.
He's with ASU Police Department, and he was off duty and traveling through Greene County, and he witnessed an altercation in a vehicle. They pulled over on the side of the road in the vehicle. They pulled over into the turning lane and just I think the passenger just jumped on top of the driver and started attacking him. And so I don't think he was in a marked unit or anything like that. I think he was just on his own personal time. And so he actually got over there, went in there and intervened, and I think it may have been like some type of a domestic situation. The male subject was on top of the female, punching her, and he was able to get them off, get them subdued, and he held them there until Greene County officers arrived, and I believe they did make an arrest on that one.
That's wonderful.
Got a couple more Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Amanda Donovan, who says, "Hey Nate, hey Chief, good morning Q and Gansey," and Tommy Baker, who says, "Good morning, good people." And also shout out to Brother Cobbs, who will be joining us at the 11 o'clock hour for All Gospel Wednesday.
There you go.
All right. So, and who's the other officer you would like to recognize?
Before that, it was Sergeant Brandon King with the Jonesboro Crimes Against Children.
Okay.
Internet Crimes Against Children, for his efforts in the missing juvenile from Truman.
Okay.
You're talking about long hours the other night. This one here, there were officers from Truman, from Jonesboro, and from towns in between. And I think that they were found somewhere up north, but they put in countless hours trying to make sure that, try to see if they could get a safe return, bring some type of peace to the family in Truman. And I think it was 4 or 5 days after the child came up missing, they were able to reunite her with her family.
I like the statement where it says, the old school way of doing policing is still valid. I mean, we still did it. Redmond says we were knocking on doors to develop clues and pulling video, but the primary way we did this investigation was 10 of us gathered around laptops, getting search warrants for files and emails, and address and telephone, and all of that led to the successful end to returning her here, wherever here was at the time. So that is wonderful. Shout out to all of those officers.
And then the one before that is going to be one of your buddies, Cash. And Cash and Officer Loggins for some work they did in January. We actually got him a treat bowl and had his name and had the FLP
I think I saw that on y'all's Facebook.
Engraved on there.
I got to meet Cash some months ago. He was a little hype, but he
almost cleared the table.
So, but there's a lot of, it gets sensationalized more if there's something bad, like with the events that happened in Walnut Ridge. I mean, where an officer does something that he shouldn't do, then it gets shared hundreds, if not thousands of times.
A million times.
But whenever you take something and you put some positive out there, those same people may not be eager to put that out there. And it may be because there are a lot of people that just don't want to like the police. And one of the programs that the chief implemented here with the Citizens Police Academy,
which I'm a graduate of,
yep.
Session 2.
I mean, my understanding, obviously I've never been through it, but I've talked to a lot of people who have, and just, I think there was a guy in one of the first ones that, he went in there with the mindset that he did not like the police, but he came into it with an open mind, and afterwards, I've seen him at the gym, and he came and talked to me, and he was like, hey, I really enjoyed it, and he said it really changed my view of kind of how the police, of what the overall mission is. I mean, we're not here just trying to make sure everybody gets a ticket. I mean, there's reasons behind this. It's enforcement through, corrective measures, and but for the most part, large majority of the time, I mean, we're out here responding to calls, responding when someone needs help.
Well, I appreciate the work that you do. I must say, the neighborhood or the area that I live in doesn't have the best reputation, but over the years, it has gotten a lot better. And I just want to thank you all for the work that you have been doing to try to reduce the crime element in not just my side of town, but all areas of town. But again, we as the citizens of this community have to come together to also do our part. We notice something, we have to report it. I mean, it's not about snitching, it's about taking care of your own.
Absolutely.
If someone came to your home and messed with your personal property, you would want to call the police. So why not look after your neighbor who has worked hard for their property? They want to protect it, help them protect it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if your house was on fire, you wouldn't not call the fire department, because. But if someone's breaking into your neighbor's car, a lot of people won't call the police, just because they don't want to be that person. But it makes our job a lot harder, and it makes it a lot more beneficial for the criminal,
yes.
If people don't call the police.
Yeah, because your house could be next.
Right.
That's right.
So, did you want to?
Well, I'll just add that I definitely enjoyed the Citizens Police Academy. I did not go in with the mentality I hated police. I would just went in with a curiosity, just said, well, let's see what this is all about. Because, Chief and I have been doing these interviews, pretty much since day one. And so when this came up, I said, okay, well, I'll get a little taste for what's on us. I had to admit I was a little nervous about it, but it was definitely a great experience. My favorite part was the ride-alongs. And I definitely encourage people who sign up for it because, you will at least get exposed to a little small taste of what they do, and you'll come out with the understanding. You can still, you may still not like them, and that's okay if you still don't, but at least you'll kind of get a feel for why they do what they do.
We just graduated a class just a couple weeks ago. our spring session that graduated, and then we'll start a fall session. We hadn't set the dates just yet, but we run this program twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. So if anybody's interested in the program, you can contact Sergeant Lyle Waterworth. He's our community outreach officer, and start taking names. And here before too long, we will set some firm dates on this, and of course we'll promote it once we get those dates set. So, but it is a great program. At this point, in less than 4 years, we have put over 200 Jonesboro residents through this program. So a lot of the people that's gone through have stayed on as ambassadors for the police department in the Alumni Association. And so we definitely appreciate this group of individuals that has stayed with the program, that has stayed on to help the police department. And every time that we're involved in different community events, we depend on our ambassadors to help out.
I believe some CPA graduates are going to be at our Juneteenth.
I do believe, and you are correct. In our community cleanups, we've always had CPA folks to show up and help cooking and help just with the food, help clean up, just whatever. This is a group of dedicated men and women that volunteer their time to help the police department and our mission, and then they're also serving the public, and so certainly appreciate what they have done, investing their time and going through the program, and then to continue to stay on and support the police department. So I just want to say, thank you to everybody that's part of the alumni.
Got another Facebook shout out from CPA alumnus David Carnes, says enjoyed taking the class with Leganzi. Well, David, I had a blast with you as well, and that's another thing about the CPA. You actually get to make friends.
You're making new friends, and it's these classes get together. You're together one night a week for 12 weeks, and you develop friendships, and which is good. And David's been a strong member with the alumni ever since, and I certainly appreciate him. Every time we have the grill set up somewhere, David's always there.
All right, so David, you're gonna be there on the 16th.
I'd also like to throw out a thanks to the CPA guys, or guys and girls, because they've always come out and helped with the fishing derby, with the shop with the cop, with the egg hunt, and they're just a great group of people, and they seem like they're always eager to help, and so it's appreciated, and I just want to let them know it doesn't go unnoticed.
And what I see is that they serve as a liaison between the police department and the citizens. Sure. They can, because they have that experience and that knowledge, they can better explain and relate to the citizens about what really goes on with the police department.
Right. It's kind of an independent view of what policing's about. I mean, I could sit up here and tell you what policing's about, and but if you have a citizen that's going through the program and say, this is my perspective of what I've seen and heard and my understanding, then sometimes people pay a little bit more attention. Okay. So it's about advocating for what we do.
Got a couple more Facebook shout-outs. Amanda Denver says yum. I guess you're talking about the barbecue at the well, it won't be barbecue, it'll be burgers and hot dogs. But
burgers and dogs.
Blake, and shout out to Officer Blake Easley. Appreciate you for checking in. Of course, Officer Easley is the one who was the brainchild of the trunk or treat. Looking forward to trunk or treat this fall. In fact, I've got some extra speakers now, so I'm looking forward to, well, we're going to break them out for Juneteenth, but I'm really looking forward to breaking them out at trunk or treat.
Yes, Blake has done a great job with trunk or treat the past couple of years. Again, this is his concept. He's put everything together for these past two events, and it's been a huge success. And I just kind of show you what kind of staff that we have at the police department. Again, the men and women of the department, they enjoy what they do, and they enjoy getting out in the community and working with the community.
All right, I want to ask a question. I don't want to darken the mood, but just kind of...
Well, we have to take the good with the bad.
Okay, and I know this is not happening in Jonesboro. I don't have knowledge of it happening in Jonesboro. When we see things on a nationwide level, we know that it will eventually trickle down mood-wise.
It affects the thought process of people here.
So we've seen the reports of people calling the police for their personal security, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Let me frame this. I think I know where you're going with this. There are incidents of where people call the police for someone that they report as suspicious, but sometimes these people aren't really suspicious. It's just these people may have a bias against a certain group of people because they're different than them, and so, they call the police hoping that the police will remove these people from these situations. These people may just be doing ordinary activities such as studying in the dorm room or cooking outside, or just doing everyday normal stuff, not actually snooping around trying to see where they breaking in at. And as Kabila said, this hasn't happened in Jonesboro, but I just kind of want to get you guys' thoughts on this because calls like this take time away from the more serious calls in which there's actually criminal activity going on.
Well, when you get the call like this, you don't know if it's really serious or not. So, but it is a call that has to be answered, and unfortunately, sometimes people do call in just to try to spite somebody else for whatever reason or whatever motive they may have. But the officers are going to show up and assess the situation, and if there's nothing criminal going on, then they're going to be done with the situation and move on about their business. So, typically, if a lot of times how these things flare up is, if you're just sitting there doing your business and an officer shows up and say, I had a call about whatever going on here, and yes, it may offend you, but if you just kind of answer the questions and let the officer do his or her job, then they can depart from the scene and go home. And sometimes the person gets so offended and outraged, and that turns into the situation changing, and then next thing you know, somebody's going to jail for disorderly conduct. So, bear in mind that if the officers dispatch there's a reason, because somebody called it in as suspicious, whatever. They're just doing what they're dispatched to do, to check it out. And, if you're not involved in anything illegal or improper, just take a few minutes, cooperate. Yeah, you may be offended, but, if you blow up on the officer and lose your temper, then, you've not accomplished anything but probably a ride to jail.
In the event, let's say it is a peaceful interaction, the person who made the call, will they get some type of citation for making
a frivolous report, or I guess you could say?
It goes back to how did, was there malicious intent here?
Okay.
If I'm driving down the street and I see something that I think may be suspicious as a citizen and I call it in, there may be nothing going on. Yeah. But as a citizen just driving by and observing something, it could, we encourage people to report things. And, if there was something malicious about it, then, you could go back. But to my knowledge, we've never gone back and, charged somebody for
our dispatch,
calling something that's suspicious.
Okay.
Our dispatch center does keep a log. So, like, if we were to show up, and they said, this guy's out here just going belligerent, acting belligerent and crazy, and we get there and there's nothing going on, the guy's calm, there's no evidence to support that, we would let dispatch know that was unfounded. Okay. And if there's a history of, maybe this person's constantly reporting certain things and all of them are unfounded, well, then maybe we need to try to contact somebody, because maybe this person is, maybe having some issues that they may need to get checked out. Or, maybe they, you know what I mean? There's
everything we do, it's data driven and it's recorded.
Okay.
So even the phone conversation we were calling in is a recorded line.
Okay.
So if something did come up and, we're here because of, hey, we have a legitimate, complaint. And so sometimes it happens, but, for the most part, we don't see a whole lot of that around here, but,
and I think that's just a testament to just the efforts that you've put together to bridge the gap in the community, so that we can't, like you said, can't stop whatever goes on in other places.
That's right. We can't, and but my goal is to fix the problems here in Jonesboro, work on problems here in Jonesboro, and hopefully that will set the example for other agencies, because other agencies look and see what's going on in Jonesboro. Other cities look at Jonesboro and see what's going on in the city and how we do, what we do as far as the city goes. So Jonesboro, we set the example, and for a lot of things, and which is good.
Got another Facebook shout out to Shadrick Turner. Appreciate you for checking in.
All right, so I'm sure though it just has to be a little frustrating.
Oh, excuse me, and also Shanquetta Cunningham.
Okay.
At some point, it has to just be frustrating when you see things happening around the nation.
Well, it is, but you stop and look at the total number of law enforcement calls on a daily basis in this country. You're talking millions of calls, day in, day out across the country, and every now and then you'll get a bad incident or an unpopular incident. So out of the millions of times that law enforcement responds to situations across the country every day, and you get one bad incident here and there, I mean, the odds, for the most part, law enforcement across the country is doing what they're supposed to do. And, there's not a chief or a sheriff anywhere in the country that wants bad publicity, and, hopefully they're doing what they should be doing to, build these bridges and make sure their policy and their procedures, appropriate and things like that. So, law enforcement, that environment, it's constantly changing. Laws change, so you have to keep up with what's going on, and then I have to look at every day, watch the news every morning to see what's going on across the country in law enforcement and read different articles, because, as you said earlier, what happens up north will eventually trickle down to here. If there's a bad police incident anywhere in the country, eventually it will trickle back to here, and somebody's going to ask me the question. So I have to, try to stay on top of things as best we can, day in and day out, because sometimes it will affect us.
Now, do the chiefs of police and other higher officials within the departments, do you all keep in constant communication within the state of Arkansas?
We do. We have a state chief of police association, and we have a yearly conference, and then there's different trainings throughout the year, and then we have regional chiefs meetings throughout the year. And then there's an international chief of police association. They have a yearly conference that I'll be attending also this year in Orlando. So
nice little vacation for you.
Well, it would be, but more important, you go to these conferences and you learn a lot from others, and there's a lot of training that goes on and gathering of information. So it's important to stay connected to these different groups, because a lot of our policies, we take model policies from these organizations. A lot of these policies that are tried and tested across the country, kind of like a standardized policy. We adopted a lot of these policies for us because they have gone through different court systems across the country and been utilized. So we call them model policies. So when I go through our policy and procedure, I'm looking to see does that meet national policy guidelines.
Alrighty. We're speaking with Jonesboro Police Chief Ricky Elliott and Detective Nathan Coleman of the Jonesboro Police Department. Going to get ready to go to break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to wrap up. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. If you're a newlywed, the IRS has a few tips to keep you ready for the tax issues that accompany marriage. First, the names and Social Security numbers on your tax return need to match your Social Security Administration records. Don't forget to submit a new Form W-4 to your employer. Also, if you and your honey plan to maintain a two-income household, know that the combination of you and your spouse's incomes will likely put you in a higher tax bracket. Consult Publication 505, Tax Withholding and Estimated Tax, for details. Update your address. This might seem like common sense, but it's easy to forget amidst all the wedding planning. And make sure your filing status is correct. For more information on tax issues for married couples, go to irs.gov. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK 102.5 FM will host our first annual Juneteenth celebration Saturday, June 16th, starting at 10 a.m. at University Heights Lions Club Park by Success School in North Jonesboro. There will be speakers providing educational information, performances by local dance teams, poets, and musicians, along with food, bounce houses, and games for the whole family to enjoy. We would love for the community as a whole to be a part of this celebration. If you would like to be a part of our Juneteenth celebration, visit our website, klekfm.org, or call us at 870-203-9951. The KLEK Juneteenth celebration is sponsored by St. Bernard's, the Multicultural Center of Arkansas State University, Bancorp South, Jonesboro Police Department DARE, and Spacewalk of Jonesboro.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Stark's Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center, offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Stark's Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro. 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, wrapping up our segment with Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott and Detective Nathan Coleman of the Jonesboro Police Department.
All right, so I want to end on a lighter note. Leave it to me to start out heavy and then, okay. Anyway, I know that some members of the Fraternal Order of Police or just the police department participated in a torch run, which was in connection with the Special Olympics. So tell us about the torch run. I saw some of the pictures. Some of y'all look like you just barely survived.
Yeah, I think me more than anybody. But the torch run's an annual event that is kind of ushers in the games.
Okay.
And we try to raise money through having like Special Olympics night at I think Fat City is where we had it this last year, and sometimes we've had it at Colton's and various places. And what we do is just raise money because all these athletes, you know, it costs money to go to Little Rock and to the state games and for meals and for hotel stay and things like that. And then if they get to go to nationals, you know, Arkansas is one of the only states that pays for their airfare. They pay for everything, you know, that way they can go and compete. And the torch run, we run from the police department all the way down Caraway to Fox Meadow, and then over up Fox Meadow to Stadium up over the overpass and to Red Wolf, back up to a Centennial Bank, and then that's where they kind of kick everything off here.
Is it a relay type race where everybody's running the whole?
No, it's. I mean, we usually have a trailer, so and it has water in it. So if you have to stop, you know, you can jump on there. That way, they don't just leave you behind. But you know, we had 7 officers or 7 FOP members. We had a lot more that participated. But you know, one of the things we try to do to encourage participation from the FOP is we'll cover the cost of the shirts if they actually run. So
shout out to you all for running.
But Brian Arnold is one of the he's one of our CID officers, and he is a huge player in the Special Olympics here. I think he's over the region. Mm-hmm. He's over this whole region.
All right. Within our last 2.5 minutes, Chief, would you like to have any final words?
Well, no, just like to say summer is here, and I'd like to just caution everybody that, you know, have a fun and safe summer. Look out for each other. Your neighbors are going on vacation, things like that. Just kind of look out for each other, take care of each other, and be safe in your travels. And just be careful. We have a lot of people visiting Jonesboro. Traffic can be heavy at times, and just take your time, slow down, be careful, and enjoy.
I want to say watch out for your kids in the streets, in the stores. Keep your babies close because people are still snatching kids every now and then. And I haven't heard any stories in Jonesboro, but just keep an eye on your kids, please.
Absolutely.
All right, any updates on police tests? In fact, I'm sure you may have heard the PSA from Victoria earlier in the last break.
Absolutely. You know, we've gone to a monthly testing process, so we're taking applications every month, and we're testing at least once a month. And I'm trying to build up where we can have a eligibility list for hiring. So right at this point, we have 4 openings. So, you know, we hope to fill those very soon. But we're going to constantly test and have a eligibility list, so when we do have a vacancy, we can fill it more quickly than what we've had. So we appreciate the efforts of KLEK on promoting our testing process and reaching out to the community. And again, we're looking for as much diversity in our department as we can get. So pass the word. If anybody's got any questions or interested in becoming a police officer, they can contact Sergeant Lyle Waterworth at the Jonesboro Police Department. He's our community outreach officer and also in charge of recruiting, and he can sit down with you and go over things and hopefully entice you to maybe want to become one of our own.
All right, and thank you, Detective Coleman, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Fishing Derby, June 16th. What time?
7 o'clock for registration, 7:30 to start fishing.
Wonderful prizes. Bring out the poles, not a cane pole, y'all. But anyway.
You can bring out a cane pole. It's 7 to 9 a.m., so go get your fish on and come join us for the KLEK Juneteenth. We want to thank Chief Elliott and Detective Coleman for stopping in today. Don't go anywhere. We got great gospel music all day long. Have a blessed day. This is KLEK on 2.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK LP